Hello everybody, my name is Falk, and today we're going to take a look at some of the questions that you guys had in regards to my new release and myself and everything, so let's dive straight into them. Alright, so the first question that we have from Fafo Music is, why did you start producing music and when did you decide to want to make a living out of it? I started making music, like normal music, when I was very little. I've played instruments my entire life, but producing electronic music, that kind of came, I think, 6-7 years ago, and I just downloaded like an old copy from FL Studio and just started messing around with it while I was still in high school. And then eventually I finished my high school. It's like, okay, I have a degree now, what do I do with it? Like, either I do aerospace engineering because I was really into that, or I study music. And because my entire family background is very musical as well, 4 years ago I decided to study audio production in Berlin, and since then I've been doing it full time. So, second question. Besides EDM, what genres of music do you listen to? Well, I actually listen to mostly EDM stuff, mostly dubstep on my free time, because why not? But when I listen to other stuff than EDM, usually I would say it's classical music, actually. Yeah, because my entire family is very classical, and there's a lot of like scoring things going on. I don't listen to anything besides EDM. Sorry, it's just EDM for me, really. Alright, here's a good one. Is music college worth it? Well, I think it is, but it used to be more worth it than it is now. Because now you have all of this like free content on YouTube. Everybody's kind of making YouTube videos. It's more, are you able to make yourself a framework where you're going to work on music every day for 8 hours? Or do you need like the school environment to actually like have people put the information into you, right? So I had a lot of problems with like organizing my day myself and stuff like this, especially early on. So the whole like music college thing was really good for me because it was structured. I had lectures, I just had to show up, and they would basically teach me, and that was really cool. Now I wouldn't do it again. I think now there's so much more content on YouTube, and it's really well produced content as well, where I don't think you necessarily need to go to music college per se, but well, each their own, I think. Number 4, what motivates you to make music? Well, everything kind of motivates me. To be honest, a lot of my inspiration and like motivation comes from, I think, 2 things. One thing is just listening to other good music and just being like, oh my god, this is so cool. I just like, yes, right? But the other side, I think, is everything else in life, right? So if you take a break, you see something cool, you're like, oh, this is so nice. This really inspires me to make, I don't know, blah, blah. The typical thing. I don't have anything on my mind right now. But, for example, I have a cat, I have a girlfriend, I have all of these things, lovely family as well, that, combined sometimes also inspire me and motivate me. But, yeah, motivation is a difficult thing for me sometimes, especially when it comes to stuff around music. Okay, next question. How many hours did it take for Chopper to be completed? Because it's been a long-waited idea for us. Yes, actually, it was done like half a year ago, I think, or even more, maybe a year ago. Yeah, like I made it in the summer of 2020 while I was streaming. So that must have been, over a year ago. Crazy long ago. Actually, it took me only 18 hours to make the track, but signing it was really difficult because if you remember, there was a lockdown thing happening around the world. So obviously there was no shows, and Chopper is very, very much focused on like festival audience, right? It's way too hard to just listen to while you're at home vibing. Like, of course, the diehard fans will, but for like the average person, Chopper's too hard. It's a workout track, it's a festival banger. So at the time, there wasn't any festivals happening. Like for the last year, there was no festival. So obviously, I understand labels didn't want to sign it, but I had a really difficult time trying to sign it. And because of that, people had to wait so long for it. I'm sorry, but now it's out. I'm very excited about it, if you didn't realize. Question number 6, what instruments can you play? I can play, well, not really good, but I can play cello. Yeah, right, I can play cello. I can play drums pretty well, actually. I played it for 8 years. I can play the piano a little bit, and I can play the bassoon, which in German is called Fagott. Yeah, that's it. Actually, that's not it. I can also play the recorder. Yeah, the typical intro recorder that they put as a meme everywhere. I can play that for real. Yeah, I learned that in high school. That was a pain. Next question, can you show one of the first versions of Chopper? I actually checked, and it was a drum and bass track. Before I made it a house track, I'll show you the first version that I have. It used to sound like this. That is very cringe. And then eventually it turned into this. That's like version 23. The other one was version 7. That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. All right, so we're on to question 8 from Paid Music. When are you starting the podcast with Retrovision? The podcast with Retrovision, it's been actually in planning for so long. The thing is, Retrovision and I, myself as well, we're not the best when it comes to finalizing things. We always have these loads of ideas that we just toss around, but then when it comes to actually doing them, I think both of us aren't necessarily the best, especially together. Each on our own, we kind of deal with it, but especially when we do group things, it usually takes forever. Same with our collab, by the way. Yeah, so I always wanted to have a podcast, but especially right now, with like, I don't know if that's the right thing. I think what's much better is for us to just like speak and talk about the things that we would talk about on a podcast, but do it live on stream, and then kind of make clips and like small little edits of those conversations and post them elsewhere. Less like a podcast and more like a clip-based like interaction conversation thing, right? I think that makes more sense. But yeah, Retro Falk cast. Okay, next question. What concepts have you learned while making Chopper? Actually, I made an entire 40 minutes breakdown of the track, which is on my YouTube, which you can check out. But if you don't want to do that, I'll give you this. I never use reverb for anything. I hate reverb. I don't like the way it makes the track like, okay? I don't like it. But on Chopper, I used so much. It was like the first track where I was like, okay, maybe I'll use reverb there, I'll use reverb there. And on the main lead and the drop, there's actually a huge reverb on it all the time. With Chopper, I kind of understood, okay, maybe, I need to get over myself and kind of just, use reverb once in a while. And since then, I think my tracks have gotten a little bit bigger and even more atmospheric, which I think comes from Chopper, Use reverb sometimes. All right, next question is number 10. Why is it thin? The fuck is that question? Liam, hi. Question number 10. Why the synths go? I won't even attempt to say that. I don't know. They're pretty thick, aren't they? All right, next question. When are you going to release your collab with Offski? Offski, man, if you're watching this, it's looking like it's gonna happen this year. Later on this year, Home is gonna come out. It's a huge one. It's just Offski vibes and Falk, it's just, very nice. Definitely watch out for that. Maybe we can get a little snippet to play in here right now. Did the editor do it? I don't know. Next question. What was the inspiration behind the track Chopper? There was no real inspiration, honestly. So as you heard before, it was a drum and bass track. What I remember slightly is that I produced part of it on stream. And on stream, I think people, when I made that main synth, it was like, oh, it kind of sounds like a helicopter, like a chopper thing. And then I was like, okay, let me lean into that. Let me add all of the helicopter sounds. And then actually what I really regret is that somebody in chat, I think it was actually Toby Axel, who also made a really dope remix for Feels So Good For Me. And he was like, hey, take some cockpit sounds, like buttons from the startup, like, like the typical, almost game inspired sounds, and put them in the beginning of the track, right? As like the intro. And I forgot. And then when it was released, he was like, hey, why didn't you do it? I told you to do it on stream. I was like, he forgets. I'm sorry. So annoying. But yeah, so kind of came as we did the track. There was no like beginning inspiration, and then, we built off of that. It was more like it came while I was making something. Okay, here's a good one. Question 13 from Lost Enough. When will you collab with Dirty Palm? Dirty Palm and I don't think we've ever spoken. I love his sound, and I hope he loves my sound too. Yeah, boy. I guess. Maybe he doesn't, because he never wrote me anything. But I also never wrote him, so we acknowledge each other's existence, I guess, but also we don't talk, which I think is a shame. I think we really should talk, because Falk x Dirty Palm would slap. I kind of need that in my life. I don't know if he does. Maybe he can see this and he can be like, oh, hey Mo, let's do a little cheeky collab. Okay, question 14. What is your ultimate goal / dream? That is a huge question. My dream used to be able to sustain myself just from my music alone. And I feel like in 1 or 2 years, I might be there. Right now, I'm not. That's kind of the dream. But the ultimate goal, like up there, I think that would be getting a super insane feature with like a crazy artist, like a pop singer, maybe collab with somebody crazy like Zed or Don Diablo, something like that. That would be pretty insane. And also, that's very like me focused. Also, obviously, I just want people to be happy with my music. I want people to enjoy my music. And to finish this video off, question 15, the last question, is Retro your girlfriend? Well, I don't want to say no, but I think that's a question that Retrovision has to answer. Alright everybody, that was it. I'm a Falk, and if you haven't already, please make sure you stream Chopper, and that's it for me. Have a good one. Take care. Thanks for watching.